Now, the hunger crisis in Gaza worsens daily, with UNICEF describing the situation as critically dire. Gazans continue to endure severe hunger as the region transitions from a previously declared famine to an ongoing critical emergency. Death by hunger has become a grim reality for far too many in the Gaza Strip. Families across the entire territory teeter on the brink of starvation after 2 relentless years of war. UNICEF has now warned that famine could come back to Gaza if the situation does not improve.
The situation remains critical. We have an estimated 1.6 million people living in very, very dire circumstances with living with acute food insecurity, including at least 100,000 children who are expected to suffer from acute malnutrition in the next 12 months throughout the next year.
According to a new report from the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC, Gaza is seeing notable improvements in food security and in nutrition since the October ceasefire. And this comes months after the group warned famine was already hitting Gaza City and at risk of spreading across the Strip without a ceasefire and an end to aid restrictions. But for the Palestinians, the suffering is never-ending. Children with hollowed cheeks and skeletal frames waste away before their parents' eyes, while the elderly succumb quietly in makeshift shelters. Hospitals in Gaza are overflowing with cases of acute watery diarrhea, pneumonia, and severe anemia, all exacerbated by empty bellies.
My daughter suffers from severe malnutrition and acidosis. My daughter is 4 years old and she weighs no more than 5 kilograms. My daughter does not walk and her growth is stagnant. I noticed this a year and a half ago. Since the beginning of the war, there's no food with the closure of crossings.
Meanwhile, Israel's foreign ministry has rejected the findings. It says the IPC report does not reflect the reality in Gaza and more than the required amount of aid is reaching the Strip. However, aid groups say that despite the increase in assistance, it's not still reaching everyone in need. And this comes after 2 years of war.
In August, the group known as the IPC said that there was famine in Gaza and warned that if the war between Israel and Hamas did not end, and if more aid didn't get into the Strip, that famine could spread. Since the ceasefire in October, the group says that the situation has improved, more aid has come in. Still, aid groups say that what's coming in is not enough, and they warn that with the onset of winter, people don't have enough shelter, they don't have enough access to food, that the situation could still deteriorate.